Hey class, we're going to take a few minutes to do a rundown tutorial on Titan Jobs. Everyone who is a student at UW-Oshkosh has a Titan Jobs account created for you. All you need to do is go to the UW-Oshkosh homepage. And the easiest way to get to us is under the Titan Services tab. And if you scroll to the bottom here, you'll see a login for Titan Jobs. So it'll take you to the landing page. I'm already logged in, so it skipped the actual login page. But if you go to the login page, you should be able to log in using your net ID. So when you get onto your home page, you're going to see a variety of things here. I'm just going to kind of take you through a few things. You have view your profile is probably where you want to start first. So let's click there. In your profile, you're going to see some information regarding your personal background, details that you're going to want to add at some point. So spend a little bit of time kind of updating that profile by clicking on the profile, and then you can add or edit each of the different sections there. Let me take you over to the account page. On the account page is a place where you're going to want to make sure that you have your first name is correct. If you have a preferred name, you can change that there. You also have some notification preferences that you can take a look at, and identifying when you want to be identified or notified of different things that are occurring in the system. So absolutely take a look at those two tabs, and then also take a look at the document tab. On the document tab is where you're going to want to add a resume. We do require or expect that students as part of the class have a resume posted to the system, so definitely click on that tab. And to do so, you just click on New Document. You'll type in a name for your document, so I would recommend you name it something other than just plain resume. So for my case, it might be Chrissy Resume May 2016, so you can see that it's the most current version. And then I'm going to identify what type of document it is. And then I'm also going to check this little box here called Public. Checking this box allows employers to be able to download or view that document. Otherwise, it is private to your account. Because the system is sort of a two-way street, you can find occupational information, positions, internships, events, and things. Employers can also find students that will match their criteria for jobs, and you won't match employers unless your document is listed as public. So we do recommend that you list that document as public. You can always change it if something changes or you want to make some edits. You can swap out documents. Then you're just going to choose a file and attach the correct file, just like you would if you were attaching a document to an email. So very simple information there on how to add a resume to your document. Alright, so we're going to go back over to the home page. Also on the home page, you're going to see things that the office is marketing, whether it's events or services, things that are coming up that we want you to be aware of. And that may change based on your major. So if there's a specific event for nursing majors, only nursing students are going to see those events in their pinned area here at the top. You're also going to see job opportunities that are coming into the system that might be of interest to you. You also have some kind of to-do things over here, things that you might have RSVP'd for, or things that you're participating in. Those will show up there. You also have access to something here on the home page called the Resource Library. I'm going to pop into there. In the Resource Library, we have identified some software or some resources that are applicable to students that might be good sort of supplementary information for you that you're going to be able to utilize. For the class purposes, we do talk at some point about Career GPS, so you can access Career GPS here. We also do talk about in the class virtual mock interview, so you can access virtual mock interview here. And then many of the videos that you're going to watch as part of the course are also linked here through Career Spots. So that is the resource library. You can also get to the resource library by clicking articles over here in the navigation on the left hand side. So it clicks on the same thing. Alright, so let's go back to the home page. All right, to use Titan Jobs to search for jobs or internships, all you need to do is go over to the Explore information on the navigation on the left, and we can click on Jobs. And a list of job postings are just going to pop up based on some information. I do have some criteria checked in my profile, so that does kind of narrow down some of the information I see right away. But what I can do is I can type in some information based on what I'm looking for. I'm just going to type in CNA, Certified Nursing Assistant, and I get a couple of different things that kind of pop up right away. So I can take a look and see those job postings based on the criteria that I'm looking for. You can narrow down, or you can sort of identify your search a little bit more. So let's say if I'm interested in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, I can type in location, and then it also gives me this slider. So if I want to give myself a radius a little bit bigger than 50 miles around Oshkosh, it will do so by moving that slider. So if you kind of have an open job search, you can change that information there. You can put in information based on the employment type. So if you're looking for part-time, seasonal, you can give those indications there. You can search by major as well. So if you're looking for things specific to your major, you can choose that criteria. And then there's also other criteria that you can also add details for in terms of how you want to search. One of the things I do recommend is to not limit your search by a ton of criteria. The more criteria you put in, the more narrow your search will be. So if you have a communication major, maybe you just search by your major and leave it at that, and maybe put in maybe your location and whether it's part-time or full-time that you're looking for, because that will give you more options to search. So let's actually do that. So we're going to search by job type. Let's go in by major here. And let's do communication studies. And then let's do full-time. And then let's change our location to Milwaukee. Oh. All right. So you can kind of see that, we can put some information in, but then it gives us a lot of different options to kind of look through. Some of them will be things that you're going to want to look at. Some of them are things you might want to switch or skip over. Some of these things, you might want to narrow down a little bit more because it looks like we're getting some accounting things in here. So you might want to narrow even a little bit more at this point. But do know that you can put in the criteria that seems to work for you. So definitely spend some time, playing with the filters in terms of determining what will be the best search for you. Once you have a search completed, you can save your search. So we can add a new search and we can name it. And if that's something that we want to continue to come back to, we can just come over to the Save Searches and we can click on it, and then those opportunities are going to filter based on that. Okay? So that's a job search. Same thing for internships. You can search for jobs very similarly as much as you can search for internships. One of the job search criteria that we talk about in the book is also identifying employers that you might be interested in specifically. I'm just going to specifically look at Target. And we see Target Corporation. And then what's great about this is it will then tell us what jobs are posted in the system and if they have had any interviews here at UW Oshkosh, or if there's any that are coming up. So that's one great way that you can use Titan Jobs to really help see if there's ways that you can connect with those employers when they're here on campus. I also want to show you some information about events. So if you click on events, you're going to see upcoming events. Now, obviously right now we don't have a ton of events because I'm doing this tutorial at the end of the semester, but if we were doing this tutorial at the beginning of the semester, you might see a ton of different events. If you're interested, you just click on one that you're looking at. We'll give you more details. If you decide that's something that you want to participate in, you just click Join Event, and that will RSVP you to that event. But just know that if the event If you RSVP to an event and you decide that you can't go, we do recommend that you un-RSVP for the event so that the planners can have pretty accurate numbers on who's attending the event and if we need to order food or handouts or things like that. So just keep that in mind. You also have access to the fairs tab. So if we have any career fairs coming up, you definitely can click on the fairs tab and you'll find information about the fairs that are coming. So I clicked on the career fair on the Fox for the fall. Right now we have 13 employers already registered. If I click on it, it will take us to the list of those employers already attending, and I can do some research based on those employers. As those employers continue to come in, that list will change. So that might be something that you want to keep an eye on as you go through. You also have access to something called interviews. On the interviews tab, this will give you an opportunity to take a look at what employers are coming on campus to do interviews for jobs and internships. You can also see that the Career Services Office is utilizing that function to complete their mock interviews. So if you're participating in a mock interview, the interviews tab is also where you would go to RSVP for one of those mock interviews. But we definitely recommend that if you're interested in interviewing for a job or an internship, take a look at the interviews tab to see if any of those jobs or opportunities match the search for which you're looking for opportunities. You also have a couple of other tabs that I'm not going to spend too much time on. You do have a journal, the planning section also. At some point we may develop those a little bit more. And then surveys. On occasion we do run a survey through Titan Jobs, but I won't spend any time going through that. And then again, just the articles tab, which brings you back over to the resource library. So I hope that this helps just give you a quick snapshot of how to use Titan Jobs for some of the functions. Again, remember that Titan Jobs is a great place to find jobs and opportunities, not just in the Oshkosh area, but Wisconsin and nationwide. So spend some time doing a little bit of searching under either the jobs or the internships tab to find opportunities that might be a good fit for you.